I quickly move on to the next session. The session is on intelligent enterprises, harnessing AI, automation and smart infrastructure for business excellence. We have Mr. Saurav Das. Mr. Saurav Das is a IT committee member of BCCI. He is the chairperson of Philanthropic Technical Association, who is our partner. And Mr. Das is also the Group Chief of Digital and IT of Rupa and Company Limited. Sir, can you please take the stage? We have Mr. Mitesh Bagra, Associate General Manager of ISSPL. Mr. Bagra, if you could kindly take the stage. We have Mr. Shubhashi Shaha, Head Enterprise Practice and Group CIO, SoftThing Intelligent Solutions Private Limited. We have Mr. Pratham Advani, Head of Enterprise Division, MD Digitronics. Once you take the stage, I would request Saurav sir to take the session forward. Saurav sir, you have a timer running in there. Kindly have a look at it and do the session within that, please. As you know that we are running extremely behind schedule. So any minute save would be better, or for that matter, sticking to time would be appreciated. Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, Shombit. I think we had a fantastic day so far, and I have got three excellent gentlemen with me. You heard their introduction, and given the timer running there, I'll not mince words. Let's get straight to business. And my first question is to you, Mitesh. So Mitesh, you know, your experience in manufacturing, your experience in BFSI. So let's start with a very open-ended question, the AI-powered enterprise, okay? So when we are talking about AI and automation rapidly reshaping the business operations, okay? So from your experience, which areas are witnessing the most immediate and most measurable business impact from these technologies?
Sure, thanks for asking that question. I'll try to answer this in three parts. Of course, everybody, all the colleagues in the industry have spoken about it. The answer is very real, and you know, we are all seeing it every day. 88% of organizations today have, you know, that's a Gartner report, have already started the AI journey, and you know, from POCs. I think 2026 and 7 is when we will start these pilots going into production, and then scaling up will start happening, etc. in 27 and 28. If I look at the three big use cases where industries where this is happening is predominant, and it's already giving measurable results, is intelligent document processing, right? I think Mr. Naresh Purohit already said that you give documentation. I'll give a very real example. 10,000 invoices for a logistics company were processed. It used to take about 5 days. Now it's done in 4 hours. You know, that's a very real example today available in the market. Second one is customer support. Agentic platforms and digital twins and assisted models have already kind of improved the customer satisfaction levels by about 60 to 70%. And you will see a lot of organizations today are using agent assisted platforms, and they are almost 30 to 35% workforce is today agentic. So the use case, which is very real, and we want to solve that, and you would be reading about it in news as well, is the NEET exams. If anybody can solve the examination problem where AI assisted exams or the examination, etc., can be done real time, the entire leak of the paper leak can be actually, you know, prevented, right? There is a very real problem. If we can solve that problem for for the education ministry as an organization, and the ministry itself will also be very, so I think these are the three top use cases that I want to kind of, talk about. Thank you.
I think that's an excellent example and very relevant in today's times. We are all reading in the news.
Correct.
So let me move on to Shubhashi's. You know, we all, I mean, here know you. We have seen, you know, we have been working with you for long. Obviously, you don't need an introduction. One of the areas I think people are not aware of yet is you're working more on the municipal side of things. So let's take this AI discussion a little further. So when we are talking about large scale, government transformations, and in that, how AI and the connected digital platform can help municipal bodies deliver more, I would say citizen-centric, efficient and transparent public services. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's basically very close to my heart. Just to share with all of you that we at SoftThink, we have been talking about, or we have been actually trying to enable, or rather digitally enabled municipalities since 2005, I guess. When this used to be not even coming in the discussion table, that you can actually automate solutions for municipalities. And today, we are proud to have about more than 70 such installations in different municipalities in Assam, where multiple things actually have been digitized, automated. Some of them could be, as we all know, that the tax revenue management services is one of the key things where we all as citizens actually are able to really pay our taxes. That is something, and it is not only about taxes, that you can, if you want to consume any kind of service, you actually can do that from that portal. We also provide an end-to-end financial accounting systems for managing their day-to-day operations for these municipalities. All the citizen-centric services are included, and Saurabh, you are talking about AI. We have recently talked about and looked at AI implementation in managing waste. So basically, if you actually have to track, manage the waste and do it digitally, there are multiple scopes by which you can really identify those areas, those VATs. You can really look at the refill structure. You can see how do you automate things. In fact, recently I was in UK along with Janta. We were participating in the London Tech Week, and during that time we actually happens to meet a lot of London Council people, very senior members. There also we see lots of scope in this regard. So it is not only in our place, it is in the Western world also. There are a lot of scope on which we can actually really bring in AI and do it. Some of them we have already implemented in Assam. Our hope is to really grow this big and take it to other states as well.
Thank you, thank you. Moving on to you, Pratham. So, we are all talking about AI and whatnot, but end of the day, if it's not secure, all the efforts go waste. So, let me ask you about the intelligence security for the digital age. The cyber security and the physical security, with that converging. So how do you think the integrated security technologies can give us something which is safer and smarter?
Yeah, so definitely, like when you talk about integrated security, until now for decades security was always divided into two different parts. One was the physical security and one was the cyber security. In cyber security we spoke about firewalls, VPNs and whatnot, and in physical security it was always the security guards, gates. Even in corporate offices the teams, accounting teams are guarded in one room with doors closed, be it as big of an office as it could be. But as the technology is moving and things are moving ahead, we had a session by CP Plus as well today to see how now cameras and the AI layer is coming together and improving the security of, be it a government hospital, be it a government site, be it an enterprise, be it a manufacturing factory. For example, until now we would rely on a security guard standing and noting the number of a vehicle before letting it into the plant and checking the compliance, if it had a PUC, if the vehicle even has an insurance, and most of the time it would be missed because the manufacturing plants, as we all know, are continuously in and out. But now with the help of computer vision and the ANPR based cameras, we can, and the initiatives by the government wherein an e-way bill is raised as soon as a stock is gone out of the factory, we can track that what material is the vehicle supposed to bring in? So is the vehicle supposed to be authorized to get inside the gate or not? So be it the case of movement of in and out of vehicles, be it the detection of unauthorized accesses which cameras can handle, or be it a detection of fire and smoke if it's happening in a area, which brings us to the convergence where physical and cyber security no more stands different. Because with such advanced technology, obviously the security guard sitting there or the person sitting who has 150 streams in front of him becomes compliant, and he thinks that, okay, the system is allowing me to let this vehicle in, so it is the responsibility and the ownership of the system to tell me if this vehicle is supposed to go in or not. So technically, when we used to talk about firewalls, foreign code, now suddenly that also becomes the gateway to your physical security. And obviously we had such a interesting talk about cyber security and how fast it is moving. So it is suddenly as important to protect your physical security is equivalent to the cyber security. If someone hacks into your system and says that, okay, this truck should be let in, that's unauthorized access but through cyber world. So definitely with the moving technology, we need to build AI layers, models, technology whatsoever, which needs to be responsible, as we need to understand the gravity they hold after they go into production. Today a lot of people spoke about how AI will go into production. That is just, I think, one step towards AI being real. The second and the most important step which AI is going to live with is sustainability. Is that model going to sustain for the next 5 years, or how is it going to change? As we're talking about patches, how are these patches going to change over the next few years?
Great, great. So I think let's take this discussion around smart infrastructure and the connected systems a little further. So let me come back to you, Mitesh. You heard what Pratham was saying. So, the concept of intelligent enterprises that relies heavily on the integrated infrastructure, right?
Correct.
So how can organization create a seamless coordination, A, between the IT systems, B, between the operational technologies, and C, between the physical infrastructure? And how can efficiencies be scaled in that?
Correct. So there are data platforms. I mean, the answer is very simple. Create a unified layer of intelligence, right? And apart from the third one, the fourth one is also the zero trust architecture. Because one is the physical world, the second is your digital world or the digital infrastructure, and the third is where these three systems talk to each other, or the three parts talk to each other, and the fourth is the monitoring layer around it. There are sensor data, there are enough and more applications and sensor data that comes through from the operational, whether it is your Siemens, Bosch and other PLCs and SCADAs of the world. And what do we do with that data, right? Today, agentic platforms can actually make sense of that data, try to understand the semantics and the telemetry of it, and then making decision and, making the decision power available to the HITL, the human in the loop kind of element of this agentic platforms. That is what is going to truly define of how we will do this. The scaling element of it is whether can one factory talk to the other factory, and the beyond this is, can we talk to the enterprise and talk to these agents and say, hey, tell me what is my supply chain problem in Kolkata versus what is my supply chain problem in, let's say, Gujarat. And that is the true element of connected enterprises. When these agents start talking to each other and say, hey, this is the learning from here, can we start building that learning, removing those silos out, and sharing that agentic data to the other plants, and can we improve the quality of the products that are coming out of there? That is what is going to truly define these connected silos to join and become a unified layer. I think that's kind of sums it up from my side.
Right. I think very well said. So taking those, connecting those silos, let me come to you, Shubhashish. You have spent a long time with ITC, a huge conglomerate, a behemoth. I'm sure they'll also have a lot of legacy systems. So, and typically every organization has that challenge. So how do you think AI can help us there in building organization both safely and sustainably in this area?
Yeah, very interesting questions, and one good thing is that I am no more in ITC, so I can share a little bit of what used to happen in ITC. So basically, like any large corporations, the way it has to be handled, I think in ITC it has been done quite well. And the kind of problems you talked about, the large organizations would have a huge set of legacy systems. There will be a huge set of systems which are not on, so to say, DevSecOps. So now what happens is that today, or what has already happened in ITC, is that ITC as an organization, they have really thought about this quite some time earlier, and they have built this layer of looking at multiple applications, implementation of no-code, low-code systems, continuous monitoring, continuous tracking through DevSecOps, by which you can actually bring consolidation, optimizations of applications, at the same times bring changes in the way you develop softwares. So as somebody was talking about in the earlier sessions in terms of VA, how the VA is conducted, the patches are normally implemented in a particular frequency. Those days have gone. Actually, you can't just wait for that these things to come, and or you leave it with n-1 kind of a situation. So here it has to be a continuous monitoring, like every time you develop, you make a change in the software, it has to be continuously checked immediately and then moves to the productions. So those are the few things which I have seen ITC, they have managed it well. And today that is why we are seeing, whether in the area of agri-tech, ITC Mars kind of solutions, whether in the area of supply chain, the demand sensing solutions, whether in the area of, let's say, customer behavioral analysis, sentimental analysis, and doing targeting marketing. All of these actually have been done quite well.
Excellent, excellent. So, we have the paucity of time, but no discussion in IT is complete without cost. Finally, it comes to that. And so my question to you, Pratham, is that, digital transformation initiatives always involve investment, and largely those are taken as cost rather than, benefits come much later on. So you have spent a lot of time in different organizations, in government, in manufacturing, in BFSI. What is your take? Do you think AI is looked as a cost or as an enabler? And how do you see that changing in coming times?
So, to answer this question appropriately, I would like to divide it into two parts. Definitely there is technicalities of AI, which most of us in the room have heard about, talked about for a while. But I think to determine if the transformation working in the MSMEs, SMEs today is because of AI, has it added the cost, or has it enabled people to go more on it? For me, I would be tackling it in two parts, as I said. The first part is, until now, the people who were actually, say, operating the factory plant, people who were the factory heads, or if you go to the insurance, the people who were actually processing the claims, these people did not have as much access to technology as much as a consultant who used to go and sit there to understand their problems, derive a solution for them, give them the solution, which gave the rise to agile environment, or what we speak to as agile, the quick feedbacks. I think how AI has changed this is the right people for whom the technology is being built for, be it for what the transformation is being built for, have the access to the frontier models. They have, the AI has become a democracy. Now everyone, I'm pretty sure in everyone's company, someone or the other is sitting on ChatGPT and talking to it. Everyone has access to it nowadays. So because of that, the timeline for a software to go live has become, I would not say significantly smaller, but till now in this last 1.5 years, yes, definitely it has gone lower than what it used to be. So for me, as time goes down, the cost is going down. So AI is an enabler there. And the second aspect to which I would say AI would make a lot of things go faster is the rise of open source. Open source always existed. Android was always a thing, which most of us, we know that how Android is an open source, that's how most of the companies use it. But because of AI, a lot of people sitting around the world are building so many tools around various different things. We don't even know about it, we don't even think about it, but some way or the other it helps someone in the other corner of the country. May it be in India, anywhere in the world. So the rise of open source, which AI has boosted quite a lot, be it your ERP systems, be it your analytics system, be it your Power BIs, which are now being built on completely open source insights. So with these two aspects of real world and realistic access, I think AI will sooner from being a cost will become an enabler in the world of technology overall.
Excellent. I think as we are coming to a close and we hardly have time left, I'll ask a final one question and I'll ask each one of you to take a stab at that, and let's take just a minute, okay, because that's the time we have. A minute for each of you. I think the next 5 years, every organization is looking to become an intelligent organization. And that is really the differentiator in coming years. It's not about sales, it's not about customers, it's really about how intelligent an organization becomes. So in your mind, what is that one thing organization should do to become that intelligent organization in the next 5 years? I'll go with you, Pratham.
So I think as we all spoke about it throughout the day about the cyber security and network, I think there will be a very new concept which will come into the market and which sounds very old school, but I think there will be a concept which will be called as AI inventory management. So the companies will have to have a permission matrix and an AI inventory management in the places where all they have used AIs. And the better they use this inventory management to have a control of the AI agents and automating things within the company to have from one screen. As we saw that the cyber security needs to become from one screen. One platform needs the access for everything for it to tell you when the vulnerabilities are coming to you, when the vulnerabilities are not coming to you. Similarly, every organization will need a dashboard to know where all AI has been actually been implemented to have a control over their organizations and how they augment the staff on top of this. Will be the first main two layers which will dictate the next 5 years.
Kind of history will repeat after 50 years. ERP was also born from inventory management to start with.
Yes.
Okay. So Shubhashisa, your take on intelligent enterprise in the next 5 years, in just a minute.
I would put it in a little non-technology way. Sometime back when I was in Unilever, somebody told me that sales is a vanity and profit is a reality, and cash actually is the actuality.
The reality.
So if the cash has to become reality, whatever we do in terms of AI or any other intelligent thing, two things must happen. Intelligent systems must ensure that business makes profit, and the intelligent systems must ensure that it touches every citizen, every one of us. If we are able to do these two things, I think we are good to go, and we are going to stay relevant and sustainable.
Excellent. Finally with you, Mitesh.
So the way I see it, in the next 5 years, organizations are going to become much more flatter. When I say flatter, the roles that
take
we're
the
today
mic a
looking
little
at
closer.
from a okay, better now. So I think the organizations are going to become much more flatter in terms of the entire CXO structures and the managerial layers and the doers. So the divergence from the doers and the CXO structure is going to flatten down completely. That is one. Second is the problem solving ability of CIOs will become much more faster. The decision making will become much more easier for them, because all they have to do is now depend on the agentic layer that has come in as a experience, right? Agents will become so much smarter and effective in decision making that the real-time data and the real-time analytics of intelligence that they need to build or grow in terms of new geographies, newer markets, newer product lines, whether it is just fixing simple bugs in their own production processes or supply chains, it will become much, much more seamless than it is today. I think today what is still happening is we are dependent on other teams to kind of give us data, and then the intelligence, and then the consultants come in, and then the entire cycle starts again. I think CXOs will now start looking at having their own set of agents who will start doing all of this for them, and then the intelligence and the decision making will be very quick for them as well. So that's where I think these companies and organizations will start, going very, very quick. And I think that's where, yeah, that's what
Thank you. So I think the key takeaway from what you said is life is going to become easier for the CIOs, right? Thank you gentlemen. And with that note, with 8 seconds still to left, back to you, Sambit.
Thank you so much, sir. Each second counts. So can I quickly call within those 8 seconds, Mr. Pratik Banerjee, member of our IT committee, to kindly come up on the stage. And let's do the honors. Saurav sir and Mr. Banerjee can jointly give away tokens of our appreciation to our esteemed speakers. Can we first do it with Pratham? Next is Mr. Shaha. What a point. Next is Mr. Bagra. Yes, Can we quickly have a group photograph, please? Abhishek, get ready. Quiz time.